kicking it off on the attack, I think that's what they're going to be going for.
Well, it's all about setting the pace. Double traps waiting for them as they step out into the A site. Although already they're bypassing them. Moving around the back through lamps to try to fight right onto Munchkin. The flash, the first one wasn't so good, but the second was beautiful. Now, Texture left on the off angle to try to catch them. Can't punish on the player caught by the trap, but does deny the spike plant. But the nade buys a little bit more time, but it's going to be tough to capitalize through that smoke.
It's now patience for Heretics. They don't need to overextend. They don't need to take too much of a risk. They've still got plenty of time to play with and are sort of hoping that there is more of an extension on the other side. I think they're also waiting for Boo to try and get into position. But in the meantime, look at the pot flash. It's going to be coming straight through their smoke already. A couple, but Rians responds immediately and even adds one more to the pile. And Karen, he just about manages to get the kill onto Miniboo, but there's still 2 remaining, and it's Rians once again. And on the trip, that's the bigger issue. They want to go through, but they can't find it. They can't break it. So it's still there. And it's just being waited for contact. Finally, there is that split you were talking about, but they're heading straight into the judge. Karen up close, waiting. First is easy, and now they have to go. There's only 17 seconds left, and they're all just falling to this judge. He's gonna take them all. That's the spike down as well. If they're gonna go for this, they need to sprint to try and retrieve it. And with the Molotov down, there just is not enough time. The judge, and it pains me to say it, is going to win the round for the side of GENG, and even escaping from Karen seems difficult.
Yeah, only thing that does escape Carol's. Heretics have come in activated. Rien's most certainly has. Yeah. And we need to see the same thing from GENG, albeit not in this round. Again, 2 rifles.
You're saying?
Sure.
You're saying?
Okay, well, I'll take that one right back. There's some weapons to be retrieved. There's a showstopper in play, and Woot's gone before the rocket lands.
Oh, Lakia needs to get out. As said, a lot of the time he's a safe pair of hands. That was a way back into the round if he falls, but instead, that early aggression from Texture, you always know that at any stage this man can be a danger. And the hero rifle he had has done just that, even the support of Karen from behind. And now they just fall back. Even using the Seekers, it's not the worst ult to expend in a moment like this, just to make sure that you haven't lost too much ground in a certain position, or maybe even wary that they're about to make the hit onto long. Instead, though, Hookah is the play, and with a defensive smoke in position, I don't know if they're going to try and risk it and jump out. It seems like they are going to try and potentially make a move around it, but you can see Lakia is honed in, ready and waiting.
He has trouble, though. Never mind. Munchkin comes out along. And he's toyed with the idea of putting that orbital strike down a number of times, but never quite pulled the trigger.
Oh, the pacing looks a fair bit quicker this time. Hookah control taken immediately. It's a position they have problems with. Lakia's going to remove Boo. Some of that late round utility already gone. Also, a player that has been their lurker. It might even bait the defensive players on the other side of the map. And in fact, they're actually going to try and use the pit to get out, the counter spam. It's perfect. In fact, Rians has found 2 through the wall. It's got to be frustrating if you're on the other side. Still Meteor's here. He managed 4 in the last round. This time that would be enough, but he's going to be decayed all the way down, and that will be enough for Benji to clear him.
Could have been either player that he took down. If it was the Viper, perhaps they'd be in with a chance. Instead, well, maybe again, Karen's going to toy with the idea of the orbital strike straight through the smoke and the wall. Benji couldn't find a safe space to hide, and now they really need to be careful. Orbital strike in play. Both players trapped. Gate crash available. Used, but Karen, after the time, grabs the kill onto Woot.
Toe to toe, and even come out with some wacky compositions that can throw you off completely. They beat them on this map. Here we go, though. Thrash. Already used the TP even while blinded. Double blinded. Doesn't even matter. That's Miniboo gone, and they might have to pump the brakes. No, they're continuing this push right into the hands of Munchkin. He's going to try and retreat, and Lakia's gone down elsewhere. In fact, everybody's falling.
It's a wave of red for the attacking side as Benji Fishy grabs the shot to the back of Munchkin's head, and Boo, he's so annoying to play against. They're not even clearing it. No! Boo! Well, they clearly have done some reading into this and assume it's a B hit. but it is most certainly not GENG walking straight into the A site, and only one man, the snake in the grass, the man who got a knife kill, but won't quite be able to stab them in the back this time. t3xture falls as a result of the damage done, though. Then we're back to equal territory.
Hey, you don't see Tiger kills too often nowadays, but even still, that's a big one. Puts things even. There's going to be a flank fight as well. That battle could be what ends up deciding it, although considering the plant, it's going to be difficult for them to get back in. Lakia already eliminating BenG, another one for Munchkin as well, and this is looking clean. Left on to Boo, and he's not even going to get one. A good round from Gen. This is the thing, when you have that Gecko Sky combo, you can use your flashes for info. This is what we talked about though. t3xture being set up, Boo dodges the flash, gets the opener for himself, removing the danger man, or at least one of them. And actually, Lakia has now gone down as well. This is starting to look pretty problematic. This bonus round had a lot invested into it. Maybe even leaving Munchkin with less desirable economy for the next round if they don't manage to find a little bit more here. Wanting to at least get a bit of damage done. He's fighting tooth and nail. One of his last bullets before the reload. Karan has actually found another. This comes back into a competitive position as he'll keep it in a 2 versus 2.
Such smart play. He knew he was being baited by the player further back and just kept falling back, retreating and taking the fight. Guerrilla warfare, and it's worked out. GENG with another on Meteor, and now Rienz has to do it all. This round was looking so heavily favored, and instead, they are massively on the back foot with the defuse underway, though. Here comes the swing, a necessary one, stopping the defuse. But still plenty of
entry he was able to get. It seems like they're going to go for that again. And look at where the majority of the defense are. It almost seems like they're playing a retake.
Well, I'm not sure they'll have much of a choice. Traps cover in the back. No need to look backwards. Instead, they focus right in front. t3xture already in, but he's been let past by Boo. Only finds the one as a result. Luckily, they were still clearing those angles. The deep showstopper not landing. The Viper's Pit is covering off all of this control. There will be a small gap where the spike is planted.
There's Seekers online. A kill for BenG. Would also get a counter pit. It seems like they're going to try and force them into awkward battles. t3xture has done so much. Wu is tagged for just 3 HP. The players out of Hookah are desperately trying to just fish out where that Viper is going to be hiding from. And the flashes have done well. BenG gets one. t3xture now dropped as well. This is starting to fall apart a little bit, but they still haven't dealt with the pit. Still looking for where that last man standing. Karan holding his ground as he'll come out with a third. But that spike is already being diffused. They have to get towards it. And guess what? Another 4K.
Clearing out space now. Well, off rip. There's one player outside of A. They know that for sure.
And
the gamble stack again on B is not going to work out because short has been taken for free. GENG have got backside A control, they've got site control, they've got everything. And Meteor, I somehow expect him to get a kill or two there, and he got both. Of course he did, even blinded
it's
up.
It's a save. It's already a save. I can't imagine that the players on the other side are going to be going for this. It's going to be so difficult to find a way back in. I guess they've got some extra credits to play with. That's why they're going to try and run into what is t3xture. And well, he wanted to try and get all 3. Instead, he gets the 1, but does a lot of damage. The remaining players have no choice but to try and leave this position. Again, you look at what was being done by Heretics, I don't mind it. They needed to clear that backline. They needed to find that guy. The flash was perfect, just like the shots from Boo. And of course, with the saves that we've seen from the side of Heretics, there's so much economy for the attack. They want to try and get rid of the guns as well. Munchkin has done well. Is Boo really
factor for Heretics? It's so important to get that win on the board. Now look at this. We've seen the judge in this position before do damage, and Rienz, well, he's not slowing down on those stats. A double kill. Players dropped, and indeed, Thrash kept for later on.
Oh, Meteor's taking a risk. Has to get this kill, otherwise it might just be GG. A 2 versus 5 needed to stop Heretics. And it's Rienz who's in position. He wants a little bit of revenge. Gets one blind, and Munchkin is not long for this world. 18 HP, that's not the gun he's looking for. But even still, this looks like a bridge too far, an impossibility. And for Heretics, a team that struggled towards the end of EMEA, played versus FPX and were almost defeated, maybe even should have been. They're coming up against the inarguable best team in the world right now.
30 seconds left.
And unless in 30 seconds 4 kills are going to Munchkin, they've taken them down.
It looks to be just a formality at this point. An impressive comeback in the series, in the map, and GENG Fishy to close it 13-10, 2-1. Everyone expected GENG to be the ones.